Let's consider a hypothetical tech startup developing a new software product. Here's how they might use various forms of business credit. But first, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, and give a thumbs up. Business credit funding for startups. Let me provide some examples and explain how this could apply to a new venture. Business credit funding refers to various forms of credit extended to businesses rather than individuals. For startups, this can be a crucial source of capital. Here are some common examples. 1. Business credit cards. For example, a startup founder obtains a business credit card with a $50,000 limit. This can be used for day-to-day expenses, travel costs, or small equipment purchases. 2. Business lines of credit. For instance, a new tech startup secures a $100,000 line of credit from a local bank. This provides flexible access to funds for inventory purchases or to cover short-term cash flow gaps. Equipment financing. For example, a manufacturing startup obtains a $200,000 equipment loan to purchase machinery. This allows the company to acquire necessary equipment without a large upfront cash outlay. Invoice financing. A B2B startup uses invoice financing to get advances on $50,000 worth of outstanding invoices. This improves cash flow by getting paid faster on accounts receivable. SBA loans. For instance, a small restaurant startup receives a $350,000 SBA-backed loan for initial setup and working capital. This provides longer-term financing with potentially more favorable terms than traditional bank loans. Vendor credit. A retail startup negotiates 30-day payment terms with suppliers for $100,000 worth of inventory. This allows the business to stock inventory without immediate payment, effectively providing short-term financing. Applying this to a startup. Let's consider a hypothetical tech startup developing a new software product. Here's how they might use various forms of business credit. The founders obtain a business credit card with a $25,000 limit for initial expenses like software licenses, cloud services, and office supplies. Invoice financing, also known as accounts receivable financing or invoice factoring, is a form of short-term borrowing used by businesses to improve their cash flow. It allows companies to receive money for their outstanding invoices immediately, rather than waiting for customers to pay. Example 1. Tech consulting firm. A small tech consulting firm has completed a project for a large corporation. The invoice amount is $100,000 with payment terms of net 60, meaning payment is due in 60 days. The advance rate from the finance company is 85% and the factoring fee is 2%. The firm sells this invoice to a factoring company. They immediately receive $85,000, which is 85% of the $100,000. Example 2. Manufacturing startup. A manufacturing startup that produces eco-friendly packaging materials has several outstanding invoices. The total invoices amount to $250,000, with payment terms of net 45. The advance rate is 80% and the monthly factoring fee is 1.5%. They decide to factor these invoices. They immediately receive $200,000, which is 80% of the $250,000. Example 3. Seasonal business. A beachwear company experiences high sales in summer but slower payments. The invoices from June to August total $500,000, with payment terms of net 90. The advance rate is 75%, and the factoring fee is 3% for the first 30 days, then 1% per 30 days thereafter. They use invoice financing to manage cash flow. They receive $375,000 immediately, which is 75% of the $500,000. Benefits of invoice financing for startups include improved cash flow, the ability to take on larger orders or clients, and no debt on the balance sheet since it's considered a sale of an asset. Drawbacks include the potential for higher costs compared to traditional financing, the possibility of signaling cash flow problems to customers, and dependence on customers' creditworthiness. B2B stands for business to business. It refers to commerce transactions, relationships, or interactions between businesses, rather than between a business and individual consumers. Let me break this down further. B2B describes businesses whose customers are other businesses rather than individual consumers. If you liked the video, subscribe and thumbs up. Thank you for watching. In this chapter, we will discuss the steps on how to raise funds on a website for a technological startup. No banks involved. Raising funds for a tech startup can be a daunting task, but with the right approach, you can secure the necessary capital without relying on traditional bank loans. Let's dive into the detailed steps to achieve this. Step 1. Create a compelling pitch. Your pitch is the foundation of your fundraising efforts. It should be clear, concise, and compelling. Your pitch should clearly explain the problem your tech startup solves and how it stands out from the competition. Highlight the unique value proposition of your product or service. Use data and real-world examples to back up your claims. Make sure to address the market need and potential for growth. Step 2. Build a professional website. Your website is the first impression potential investors will have of your startup. It should be sleek, informative, and user-friendly. Your website should include detailed information about your startup, including your mission, vision, and team. Make it count by ensuring it is sleek, informative, and user-friendly. Include a blog or news section to keep visitors updated on your progress. Make it count by ensuring it is sleek, informative, and user-friendly. Use high-quality images and videos to showcase your product or service. Ensure that your website is mobile-friendly and optimized for search engines. Step 3. Utilize crowdfunding platforms. Crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo can be invaluable for raising funds from a broad audience. These platforms allow you to reach a large number of potential investors and backers. Websites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo can be invaluable for raising funds from a broad audience. Create a compelling campaign page with a clear goal and timeline. Offer attractive rewards for different levels of contributions. Use engaging visuals and videos to tell your story. Step 4. Engage with potential investors through social media. Social media platforms like LinkedIn, X, Twitter, and Facebook are powerful tools for connecting with potential investors and backers. Use platforms like LinkedIn, X, Twitter, and Facebook to share your vision and connect with potential backers. Regularly post updates about your startup, including milestones, achievements, and behind-the-scenes content. Engage with your audience by responding to comments and messages. Step 5. Offer incentives for early investors. Early adopters often need a little extra motivation, so consider offering exclusive perks or discounts. These incentives can help attract early investors and build momentum for your fundraising efforts. Early adopters often need a little extra motivation, so consider offering exclusive perks or discounts. These could include early access to your product, special pricing, or exclusive merchandise. Make sure to clearly communicate these incentives on your website and crowdfunding campaign page. Step 6. Keep your audience updated with progress and milestones. Regular updates help maintain interest and build excitement around your startup. Share your achievements, challenges, and future plans with your audience. Regular updates help maintain interest and build excitement around your startup. Use your website, social media, and email newsletters to keep your audience informed. Celebrate milestones and share your journey with your supporters. Step 7. Ensure transparency and build trust with your investors. Transparency is key to building trust with your investors. Be open about your progress, challenges, and how you are managing them. Be open about your successes, even small achievements, and how you plan to grow them. Share detailed updates on your website and social media. Hold regular Q&A sessions with your investors and backers to address their concerns and questions. Step 8. Use analytics to track and optimize your fundraising efforts. Analytics can provide valuable insights into your fundraising efforts. Monitor what works and what doesn't, and adjust your strategy accordingly. Monitor what works and what doesn't, and adjust your strategy accordingly. Use tools like Google Analytics and social media analytics to track your progress. Analyze the data to identify trends and areas for improvement. Step 9. Network with other startups and investors. Networking can be just as valuable as funding. Attend industry events, join startup communities, and connect with other entrepreneurs and investors. Connections can be just as valuable as funding, offering advice, mentorship, and potential partnerships. Build relationships with other startups and investors. Seek out mentors who can provide guidance and support. Step 10. Always be prepared to pivot and adapt your strategy based on feedback and results. Flexibility is key in the ever-changing tech landscape. Be open to feedback and willing to make changes to your strategy. Flexibility is key in the ever-changing tech landscape. Be open to feedback and willing to make changes to your strategy. Regularly review your progress and adjust your plans as needed. By following these steps, you can successfully raise funds for your tech startup without relying on traditional bank loans. Remember, persistence and adaptability are crucial in the startup world. Keep pushing forward and you'll achieve your fundraising goals.